Hey everyone, I'm Johnny Lake, and I'm one of the managers and techs here at Happy Home Assistant. Many times when I'm out doing a heat pump cleaning, I come across some pretty tragic looking heat pump filters. I know, I get it, you probably did that grisly looking thing about a month ago. But just in case, I'm going to show you a good method and a good schedule to get that done at home. For the scheduling, a good rule of thumb to follow is every 3 to 4 months. But this can vary depending on some personal factors and some environmental factors. Some of the personal factors you'll probably want to consider are there any elderly or infants in the home? Or does anybody in the house have any sort of chronic illness such as COPD, asthma, allergies, or any sort of other environmental sensitivities? Some of the environmental factors you want to consider as well are, do you have any animals in the house, specifically furred ones? Do you have any old furniture that if you flop into makes a huge dust cloud? Do you have any curtains in the home, or do you have any rugs or carpets? These are all things that you want to consider. Ultimately though, it's up to you when you decide to do it, but for how easy it is and how effective it is, better to do it more often than not. For the actual cleaning itself, you're going to need a few supplies and access to a garbage can and a sink with warm running water. The supplies you're going to need are 1. Some dish detergent, 2. A soft bristle toothbrush, not one of those placky removing toothbrushes with the hard fibers on them. 3rd, you're going to need some paper towel. And 4th, you'll possibly need a step ladder or a stool. That's depending on how high the heat pump head is or how short you are, or a combination of both. Now on to the actual method itself. The first thing you're going to want to do is using the remote or the thermostat on the wall is shut down the heat pump head. Next, you're going to want to make yourself some space below the heat pump head. Then you're going to want to set up your stool or ladder depending on how high it is or how short you are. This next part will vary depending on the make or model of your heat pump. You're either A, going to lift the front panel of it and slide out the filters, or B, you're going to take the magnetic filters off the top of the heat pump head. A little side note, when walking these filters over to your garbage can, you'll want to be extra careful because they are incredibly dusty, and if you do hit them the wrong way, you'll get a little snow of the actual dust falling off of it all over your floor, which can easily be vacuumed up. As some of you may notice, there might be extra filters actually located on your filter. Those may be a carbon filter or maybe an enzyme filter. Depending on the make and model, you may have to take those off and they can be washed. Some of them actually need to be replaced. So I recommend consulting the manual or the person who actually did the installation, or if you don't have access to either one of those, you may want to look it up online. The first thing you're going to want to do is position the filter over the garbage can. And using your soft bristle toothbrush, you're going to want to loosen up any of that dust or debris or hair that have been located on the top side of the filter. I see a lot of people skip this step and try and clean it right into their sink, but I do not recommend this because this might clog up your sink. It's best to start on the top side and pick a pattern and stick to it. When using your soft bristle toothbrush, let it do the work because a lot of the fibers are very delicate on the actual heat pump filter itself. Once you finish the top side, flip it over and do the same thing with the bottom side. Next, you're going to want to fill up your sink with some warm soapy water. Now you can drop your filters right in there. Those of you with the large magnetized filter, it may be more of a delicate process, but with a little bit of finesse, I know you can do it. Once the filter is covered in hot soapy water, you're going to want to start cleaning with the soft bristle toothbrush. I start from the top side and I pick a pattern and I work my way across. Then I'll flip it over and I'll do the same thing. Now, once again, those fibers are very delicate, so you're going to want to let the toothbrush do the work. The warm soapy water helps remove any fats, oils, and waxes that have been deposited in the filter, clogging up its pores that a simple brush or water could never remove. Once both sides of the filter are complete, give it a thorough rinsing. I find rinsing it from the bottom side first produces the best results. At this point, I'll sometimes give the filters a little tap or a little shake before setting them aside to dry. You can let them fully dry on their own, or you can let the heat pump itself do the finishing touches on it. Now on to returning the filters back into place. So once again, depending on the height of your heat pump or your height itself, you're going to want to safely step up on your ladder or onto your step. For the front-facing filters, you're going to want to open the front panel and carefully slide the filters back into place. For the top magnetized heat pumps, you're just going to want to place them on top. Once the filters are in place, you're going to want to close the front panel and then just step away from the device. Then, with the remote or the thermostat on the wall, turn it back on. If you're using the heat pump to finish the drying process, you're going to want to run it on a heat or fan for at least 10 minutes. Once the heat pump is running and everything appears to be working well, you're able to clean up your surrounding area. Put any furniture back in place, move your ladder, move the step ladder, return everything back to normal.